So guys, I think we're having a problem here. Whitey, he's too high. So in this video today, guys, we are gonna be lowering Whitey and say goodbye to it. Look at that. I wonder how much that weighs. And then we are gonna be installing some traction bars, some kicker bars onto the rear as well. These came off my SRT10. They are gonna go on the truck because we have them laying around. It doesn't cost us $1 and it's gonna fix wheel hopping issues. To lower the truck, we're gonna remove the rear blocks. We're gonna remove pretty much all the leaf springs besides the main leaf, and we're gonna put our traction bar in. We got new U-bolts, we got a new spring pack bolt. So let's just get the truck up in the air and let's get working on them.
Because this is way too tall.
All right, JT's getting the spin jack set up on the front of the truck because we will be dropping the rear axle off the truck to get rid of the rear blocks and extra leaf springs that we don't need. We don't need an overload leaf spring, and the extra two we don't need either. And we don't need that rear block. So we will have to drop the whole rear axle, put a jack under it, get that stuff out of there, and put it all back together. So shall we get into this?
Lower Whitie, baby!
So we got a tranny jack supporting it and some ratchet straps. So that means we're ready to undo some U-bolts and see if the old Milwaukee has got the torque to break this 98 rust, so 23 years of rust. Like a champ, boys!
Beautiful!
You ain't messing with the Milwaukee. M18, pow!
Pow, baby!
Mo pow!
Mo power!
So now that we're messing around, so now we're just gonna go around and get all the bolts off and whip them out real quick.
Now that Eric has gotten these 4 bolts out,
Just like that.
just like that, they come right out.
And now we can sneak our block out of there and say goodbye to it. Look at that. I wonder how much that weighs.
Wait, I want to feel. Oh my
Solid
gosh.
cast, baby.
Wow.
So definitely gonna, this is a weight reduction mod too. So you guys always want to replace your U-bolts because U-bolts actually stretch when you tighten them down. So we did get a new set of U-bolts that we will be putting on after we break these leaf spring packs apart and get that kicker bar installed. So we got a few more over here to do. It's simple as pie. Just make sure we are dropping the rear axle of the truck off the truck. So make sure you got the front, if you're on a hoist, make sure you got something supporting the front of the truck. If you're doing this on jacks and jack stands on the ground, just make sure those front wheels are on the ground because we are going to be taking a lot of weight off the rear of the truck with this probably, I don't know, 300, 400 pound differential. Smooth as butter. Alright, so you guys saw us take the U-bolts and the lift blocks out. So now we need to split this leaf spring pack apart, and there's literally a bolt right here that holds it all together. Get some 2 really beefy C-clamps because this thing will be under some spring load. Don't use little guys because I have broken C-clamps in the past doing this. And then we will be installing this guy right here. This is our kicker bar. It goes just like that on here. And when we floor it and the axle wants to go up, this rubber stop right here smacks against the leaf spring, keeps it from doing it, and then it pulls down. This hits the leaf spring too, keeps it from doing it. We will have to adjust this a little bit, probably drill some new holes because this was designed for an SRT10 leaf spring pack. We have a little bit different leaf spring pack, but this will work good so we don't get that wheel hop, so we can have all the traction in the world. So let's get to cutting the sketchy bolt.
I'm scared.
It works better if you plug it in.
Pro tips from Eric.
Just like that, our BTC clamps are holding it, so now that we back this off, the leaf spring pack should pull apart, just like it is. So this leaf spring right here is our overload leaf spring, so if we were hauling a ton of weight and leaf springs start to flatten out. This is the leaf spring that pretty much says we're done flattening out. And then the rest of them are just, again, more leaf springs. The better, the stiffer the rear of the end is, the better for towing. We are not towing with this truck. We are drag racing with this truck. So we want to lose this weight. Plus we only want a mono leaf because we want the truck to actually squat when we launch it. If we got all these leaf springs in here, it's not that soft. So we are softening up the rear of the suspension just for drag racing purposes only, not hauling purposes. So if you guys haul your trucks and you want to lower it, don't touch your leaf spring pack. Just get rid of that block and hook her back up. But we're going to keep backing these seat clamps off here and steal our leaf springs out. There's also some clamps up here that we will have to bend out of the way to get the other two leaf springs out, but this overload leaf spring will fall right out if it's not rusted all together like this one is. But this should just come out just like that.
Beautiful.
But that weight right there, guys, I mean, that's probably 10, 20 pounds right there. So we're definitely losing some weight. I mean, we're adding some back because that traction bar is probably the same weight as this overload bar. But we will be getting rid of that block, and we will be getting rid of these two extra leaf springs as well. They have a lot of weight to them as well. Leaf spring suspension is usually pretty heavy. That's why everyone goes 4-link. But we don't think this 9 1/4 is going to last very long under the horsepower and the launching that we're doing. And we will probably have to do a rear axle upgrade at some point in time. We do have a welded rear diff, as you guys saw that video. If you want to check out the video of us welding the rear diff, check it out. It's going to be right there. But let's get the rest of these leaf springs out, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We got all our leaf spring packs out, so we just have the mono leaf. We might have to add one of the leaf springs because this baby's pretty soft, but we'll see how low the truck is. So we're going to install our kicker bars. We have a modified Allen bolt that I've ground down to make the perfect size to work perfectly to align our rear axle. Fits perfectly in there. And then this will go through the mono leaf and our traction bar, our kicker bar. And we'll get this guy tightened up. Axle reinstalled. That guy just goes like that. Just like that. So now we'll have to tighten that bolt up. And you guys can see the kicker bar, how it's set up over here. So when we floor it, the axle is going to want to go up. The nose of the pinion is going to want to go up. And then what happens on an axle wrap is it goes up and then comes back down, up and comes back down. And the whole truck, the whole rear end of the truck hops up and down. Not good, breaks stuff. You don't get traction, of course, and it scares the living crap out of you. So these kicker bars, what they do is when the axle tries to go up, it hits the stubber, and when it tries to go back down, it hits that crossbar that we will have to re-drill when we get the truck actually on the ground and we see what height it's at. So guys, we ended up adding one of the leaf springs back into the pack due to the fact that I thought that one leaf spring was gonna make the truck literally sit all the way down. It was just way too soft. So just like that, boys, take a look. We got no blocks. We got two left. Actually, one less leaf spring because we replaced the other one with a kicker one. We got the bolt to put in, and then we got some clamps to bend over. But what you guys want to see is how low did we go? So I'll show you guys that in about 2 seconds here. Oh God. We need to put another leaf spring in. That's too low. That's slammed.
Got that Cali lean.
Or some different front coil springs. No, that looks sick, dude.
It does, actually.
Need to get these front coil springs.
Is it all the way off in the rear?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's front coil, though. I want to make sure it's not smashing into the transfer case.
Look at that.
All right, boys, we need to, she's got that Cali lean right now, so we definitely got to do something with the front end, or we got to put a leaf spring back in it. Yeah, we're going to go look underneath there first and see if the drive shaft's smacking into the back of the transfer case, and if it is smacking into the back of the transfer case, we will definitely have to put another one of these leaf springs in, probably this guy, and skip the overload. So yeah, it's way lower than my measurements expected, because I think that those leaf springs are a little worn out.
This is how much room there was before.
Let's see, a foot. 7 inches.
Just under 7 inches. It's like 6 3/4.
How about the front? Eight and what?
8 1/2-ish, 8 3/4.
So we took this much coil spring out of both the front shocks, and Whitey is slammed, boys. He is low as we can go with this 4-wheel drive before the oil pan is like this far from the front diff and it's like this far from the bump stop. So we can't go any much lower than this until the front axle is into the oil pan. But he is actually sitting way better now. So let's measure him out and see. What are we?
What was our previous measurement? 9.
9 inches was in the front.
9 in the front.
We got 7 and 3/8.
Something like that.
7 and 3/8. Let's look at the back now. I think the back was 7. So we might have a 3/8 of an inch in the front. No, 7 and 1/4. So we're 1/8 inch off. The front is an 1/8 inch higher than the rear. And I'm not going to worry about that because it's an 1/8 inch.
It looks so cool.
Oh, dude, she's slammed. I don't know how you could see. He is way low and slow now.
Dude.
Slow, low and slow, low and fast as heck.
Like, come on, dude.
Join the Ram Fam today, guys. Pick up one of your Racing Ram Fam shirts today. Email me at keepitboosted@racingramfam.com so you guys can be part of the Ram Fam. Today is a new day, guys. You saw us lower the truck. I don't know where we left off, but you guys saw us slam the truck. It is up on the hoist right now. And that is because if you saw our last video or our full throttle death wobble video, you saw we had that crazy death wobble when we were under full throttle and full boost on Whitey. If you have not seen that video yet, the link will be right here. Check it out. But we figured out the issue, and it is the actual track bar or pan hard bar, which is right here. The ball joint end on our track bar slash pan hard bar is shot. So we got this new one from Detroit Axle off of eBay. And yeah, we're gonna get that slapped in. The other thing we're gonna look at into too is we're gonna put the sway bar in the rear of the truck, and what that does is allows the front of the truck to come up because it does not have that sway bar, but it makes the truck sit back perfectly straight because it has a sway bar in the rear. And we might steal another part from SRT10, just like we stole those old traction bars, kicker bars on the rear that you saw us install. We are gonna probably steal the front traction bar or front sway bar off of SRT10 and put it on the back of Whitey.
I got it.
That baby's beef.
Just installed these new shocks out of a different truck of some sort. I don't know what it is.
2500 Ram.
2500 Ram. And now we're gonna be taking out these old rusty, crusty, dusty shocks
And putting in some new Jeep Wrangler shocks.
Woohoo! The misfit truck.
The free truck. We pretty much use whatever we have laying around the shop in this truck. If it's free, we're going to use it. If it fits, it's awesome. So we got the old rusty, crusty shocks out of the way, and we got one of the new shocks installed, as you can see over there. And then we're waiting for this shock because we were mocking up this sway bar. The only issue is I thought it would be the perfect width for the frame, and it's off just like barely a little bit. So we're going to have to weld some plates on the frame, gusset it, and do all that stuff. But for today's video, guys, this is all we have in store. So guys, comment down below, I'm subscribed. Hit that subscribe button and comment down below, I'm subscribed. I want to see who's subscribed and who's watching these videos. But as always, guys, keep it boosted, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!